Hey, how's it going? This is D Ross, DwayneRoss.com, author of the book No More Crumbs from the Table. I have a really cool show today. Um, Coming all the way from Australia. This is the first time I'm doing that. I did have someone from. Um, yeah, you're right. Put my headphones. All right, you guys, how you doing? This is D Ross, author of the book No More Crumbs from the Table. I have an amazing guest today. Some call her the Goodwill Ambassador, Global Goodwill Ambassador. She's actually been called the LinkedIn Wonder Woman. I was set up for LinkedIn, but they have a special process. And for some reason today, they said, you know what? You got to have more visitors. So I need you guys to like, subscribe, get my visitors up. And that way they can allow me to do live on the LinkedIn. She's been a new business woman of the year award winner. She's been the best. She's won an award or a finalist for the youth initiative. Just all kind of different awards. New business woman of the year award winner. She is a global phenomenon as far as internationally. She has her own business, and she's part of a network of Arbonne International, which she'll tell a little bit about that. She has also had the Global Peace Week presenter. She was presenting at the 2017 Global Peace event. So she is coming in, and I guess you want to know who she is. Well, let me get her in here first. You probably see her name scrolling across the bottom, but we met in LinkedIn, and I want to add her to the stream here, all the way from Australia.
Hey, g'day, Dwayne, and hello, listeners.
I was jacking up. I've been practicing saying couragepreneur.
Couragepreneur. Yeah, you got
I've been
it.
saying it. I've been saying
Fantastic.
couragepreneur. I've been saying, okay, don't mess it up the way when you go live, couragepreneur. I was like, okay, I keep saying entrepreneur in my head, couragepreneur coming out. But I have the pleasure of bringing to you today Pix. Let me make sure I say it right. Jonasson. See, because it's like Jonas, right? And I was
That's right.
Jonasson, right? So we met on
LinkedIn
during the 30 days of video, and you would be commenting on my video. I would comment on some of your posts, and we went back and forth, and we just said, hey, this is such a cool vibe. Let's connect.
We did.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was months and months ago. And
thanks to Rob House, amazing guy.
I want to say shout out to Rob, because Rob was the reason why I started this in the first place. He was on somebody else's show, and I reached out to him. I said, what is that show that you was on? He said, oh, da-da-da-da-da. I said, well, what, platform? And he told me StreamYards. I said, well, I'm going to try it and see what it does, right? I was doing 31 days of positivity at the time on Facebook. So I didn't know about what he was doing. He didn't know what I was doing, even though we're connected, right? And I was like, so what are you doing? He's like, come on over and hang out with us. So I made a decision to get involved, and look at this.
Look at this, and look at the difference you're making. Well done, Dwayne.
It's totally expanded. So I don't like to talk a lot, because I want my guests to give everything that they have, that they brought, whatever you have in your toolbox. And I know that I do have a few questions to ask you, right?
Sure.
And when I was looking at the questions, I was like, question number one, oh, wait, that looks like question number two. Oh, wait, that looks like question number three. So first of all, what is a couragepreneur before you get into what you have to offer?
Great question, Dwayne. And you hit the nail on the head. I'm a courageous entrepreneur. And I believe anyone that is an entrepreneur has to be courageous. So I guess the courage has come from when I was born. I was only 2 pounds 2 ounces, so less than 1 kilogram. So I was really courageous back then. I held on to my mum's hand and fought a lot. My actual maiden name was Cumming, and the family motto is a lion. It's courage. So courage literally by birth and in my blood. And my dad used to work for Courage Brewery. So I went, right, I am a couragepreneur. So it is basically a courageous entrepreneur, but I am the couragepreneur.
Well, that's an awesome thing, because, I believe that the universe talks to us. That's Mike Dooley, right? The universe talks, TUT. Yep. And in The Secret, he talked about this whole idea of listening to what the universe has already said, what God has already put in the earth. You know, people say God and the universe. I say, well, I think they're two things, and they conspire together to give us what we need. And so we have this power, this internal drive. And so you have to take us through a journey first before we get to the meat of what you're going to say, because you said you was holding on to your mom's hand at 2 pounds 2 ounces. You know, I don't know how much is inside, like what I had on my plate today, but I don't think
it's much more than
I
2
know
pounds.
no. I've heard people get a 7-ounce steak, or a 5-ounce steak, and when you think about that, that's a little tiny amazing person, right?
I used to fit in the palm of my dad's hand. My arms used to go there and my feet there.
Amazing.
And we're talking literally, I've had my birthday this week, Dwayne.
That's right.
Loud, proud,
Happy
54-year-old.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for your beautiful birthday wishes. So 54 years and a couple of days ago, I was born at that small age, that small size.
Right.
Okay. And there are babies born, you know, around that size and smaller in this day, but you think how far medical technology has come. So for me to survive back then, it was very courageous. And I will share with you and your listeners that today is the 3rd anniversary of my mum's passing. So I'm absolutely dedicating this beautiful interview to her today. So thank you, Dwayne.
Well, that's awesome that you, that you have a way to bring her light to versus some people have the dark side of it. And they're like, oh, you know, it's a terrible thing. My birthday's on near that day, But the fact is, she left you with some amazing stuff, and you're going to share.
She sure did. People, right? Yeah, that's because, for sure.
You know, not only did she raise you in a way that adversity that you had to overcome to get here didn't stop you, but she actually showed you how to use it, harness it, and make a difference in the lives of other people. So let's talk about you and what you bring when it comes to this whole idea of courage.
Oh, look. Again, you hit the nail on the head, Dwayne. I guess I'm no different to anyone else because each and every single person on this planet, all 7.5 billion of us, we've had to overcome adversity, abuse, trauma and tragedy. And it's not a competition. It's just that I've had a lot of significant life-challenging, life-changing moments for me. And I'm a passionate advocate for healthy living inside and out, and also being my best so that I can empower, educate, and motivate others to be their best. A bit about my backstory, and I'm always open to share. And I never share to impress people, simply to express to them and to impress upon them that they don't have to be a victim. They can move on. Your past does not define who you will become. It may define you now, but when you live in the moment, accept your past, and then you can move to the future. So yes, I was born tiny. I'm a survivor of child sexual assault, okay? I was groomed and abused by an evil predatory neighbour. Now, disclosure, my mum and dad had no idea about the abuse that happened to me. That happened up to age 11. The minute it was uncovered by a family friend who stayed over, everything happened. You know, the police got involved. I had to make investigations and interviews, you know, relive what had happened to me. And then we actually moved town. So that has manifested to me as an adult. I've had, you know, less than fulfilling relationships. I've had the promiscuity. I've had a lot of stuff. Also, I've had physical things happen. I've had 3 life-threatening car accidents. Again, never to impress you. That's just my life. That's what's happened. Yeah. And I mean, I think did I send you the car accident photo? Yeah. And that was like, the first one was when I was 7. So I was still going through the child sexual abuse then. And my grandmother was killed. We hit a truck. The second one was when I was about 24. And we hit another truck, and I have been a passenger in both those. Then the third one was 10 weeks to the day later after the second one. And that was by my own hand. I literally fell asleep at the wheel because my then fiancé, who did become my husband, I was going to visit him daily. I was in rehab. I was building a house, planning a wedding, all that tough, heavy stuff. And I fell asleep at the wheel, had a micro sleep, rolled the car, went down an embankment, landed on the roof, and went, wow, the petrol tank's on top of me. I got to get out of here. So I kicked my way through the side window, the driver's window, climbed out, climbed up the embankment. At that very moment, Dwayne, I did not think, why did this happen to me? I thought, why did I survive this? I
Oh yeah.
have to have let people know my story, and
Yes.
encourage others to go, okay, this has happened, but let's move on. And then, literally today, as I said, my mum's 3rd anniversary, she passed away in my arms, which was a beautiful transition. It was sad, but it was, sad blessings and bittersweet. So I've been there with people transitioning from, earthly life to eternal life. My sister's passed away through alcoholism. Her son, my nephew, committed suicide. So I'm extremely passionate about living in the now, living your best life, whatever the circumstance, dancing in the circumstance. We're all in this global situation together.
Mhm.
But you know what? I'm so grateful because it's made me drill down to what's important to me, who is important to me, and what my purpose is and my passions are. So I'm ever thankful. Thank you, Gladys. Yeah, I'm ever thankful. And I'm a victim of COVID. I lost my job, my full-time retail job, and I went, wow, there goes that income.
Mm.
And that initially was like, oh, okay, but I had to do a pivot. And I encourage your listeners to do exactly that. When you can't go outside, go inside.
You know, thank you, Danae.
Thank you, Danae.
Wow, that's a story. Thanks for sharing. I mean, here's what I know. Authenticity requires you to get deeper. Authenticity requires people to know your stuff. And authenticity, to me, it breeds trust in a way that's different from the surface that people meet you and go, "Wait, woo, I read your book, everything's good." No, now they meet you and they go, "Oh my God, I survived too. And it's because of you I have hope. It's
Mm,
because of you I have the courage to move forward." And you mentioned so much in that intro of where you've been and how you survived. And when you think of the 3rd accident and you come out of it, and there's something about adversity that happens out of your control, in your control. I
mm,
had a similar accident where I fell asleep at the wheel as well. Woke up, the whole car is, just destroyed. I didn't wake up. I actually watched it in slow motion happen. Did it,
mm,
But when you get into that place where you go, why did I survive, as opposed to why did this happen to me? Take us back to that moment of thought. Why did I survive? Because for me, it was, I have to have a reason to be here. And I've heard people say, stop running after your purpose. Forget your
yeah.
passion. You don't need a passion. You need to find something and I totally disagree with them. And some of them are multimillionaires with this mantra. But for you and I, it's the opposite. Talk about that piece.
Yeah, well, like I said, I thought, why did I survive? My dad always drummed communication into us, and we'll talk about my courage acronym. And yeah, I just thought, this has happened to me, it's also happened for me. So, why did I survive? I literally looked up and went, why did I survive this? And I thought, I've got to get my message of hope, of inspiration, of getting through adversity. I've got to get that out to people. And, I could go on to what's happened. I've had
Right.
shootings. I've been in the California earthquake. I've had
You was in
abusive
Northridge?
partners. Yeah, I
Was
was
it
in
the Northridge? I
California,
was there too.
6.9
I
in
was,
89. We flew
I was the
back and
guy.
the aftershocks and all that. I've fallen down a cellar. We've had a guy
Mm,
shoot himself in our backyard. It's happened. But it's like, okay, I'm the voice for others that can't or won't speak. And that's my purpose and that's my passion. And that's what 100% fuels me. If I can stop one person from not owning their worth and their value, because I've been there, Dwayne. I've hated
yeah.
myself. I will say that I don't think I've ever had suicidal
Suicidal.
ideation. But I've been depressed. I got diagnosed with depression in 2005. And again, it's all about mindset. I
Yes.
understand that there's clinical and,
Hmm.
depression and bipolar that needs medication because you've got a chemical imbalance. Mine was just basically shit on my liver. I wasn't happy in my job. I was not happy in my marriage, and I was not happy in life. I just didn't feel fulfilled. I was hamstrung. I was at the starting block, but I couldn't go. Now, I guess that accident, excuse me, has allowed me to go, to find my passion, to find my purpose.
Yes. So let's talk about that.
Mm,
You found it. And all of these lines added up to even what your dad has stood for. Your
yeah.
last name,
Mm,
courage.
yeah.
I always think when I hear the word courage, I think of the lion
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Wizard of Oz,
Exactly.
right? And he's like,
Yeah.
courage, courage. Talk to us, take us through. I don't really have to ask you each one of those questions. What
Yeah.
I need to
Well,
do is let you take over and go for it.
and thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share my gift of courage to your audience and listeners, Dwayne. I'm so grateful. I like to keep things simple. So I have a courage acronym, and we've already touched base. C is connect and communicate. We connected on LinkedIn. We connected via Rob House, and then we reached out. Yeah, I know. I know, Gladys. I've been there. And if anyone would like to connect with me, LinkedIn is a wonderful platform, or Facebook as well. Um, yeah, so connect and communicate with people, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I like to take things offline as much as we can in these times. And by that, I mean, if somebody sends me a request, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Insta, I will aim to voice message them. No one can copy and paste a voice message. It's like, hi, Dwayne, thanks so much for your connection. Would love to jump on a call and find out more about what you do. And then they go, wow, it's that connection. So connect with people and communicate, because when you verbally communicate and then digitally via face, you get
Mhm.
more of a feeling with people. And so if people are publishing their book, connect with publishers, connect with fellow authors, connect with, that people in your industry that are where you want to be. So C, connect and communicate.
All
O
right.
is opportunities. Now, do you want me to keep going, or are you
I
wanting to
will
ask questions?
I might kind of interrupt just a
Yep.
little bit because you say certain things and my style is like you said, it's off the cuff. I
Yep.
have a few questions that you and I already identified, but you might say a word or a phrase or hooking up phrases. And what I will do is like stop you for a second
Yep.
because sometimes we go all the way through and it's like, wait a minute, there was a really cool, what I call platinum nugget.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the second part of that, which is communicate. A lot of times, like even now, this COVID has allowed us to actually slow down and
Yep.
hear some messages from people. So, yes, connect and communicate. Okay. Oh,
Just before we get onto that, I
yes.
actually personally hate the terminology social distancing. It is not social distancing, it's physical distancing. We do not have to be socially isolated or socially disconnected.
Ooh,
I
say
think it's
that
such a
slower.
misnomer.
Say that again.
Social, we can be physically distanced, we do not need to be socially distanced. It is a
That
bad terminology.
That is so powerful because, we already know as human scientists have already identified by even watching babies when they were taken out of birth and they were
Mhm.
put by themselves or with others. And
Yeah.
what I hear you saying is that we can use the social networks, we could use the social environments. As a matter of fact, we could be in the same space. We just have to prepare ourselves in a certain way so we
Yep.
can still connect and keep that social
Yes.
avenue open. Is
Mm.
that what I hear you
Yeah.
saying? Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if people,
I love it.
and one thing I'm mindful of is my language, and aim to work on that each and every day. So if people can stop using social distancing or social isolation, just change it to physical. because that is so different. That it's like when you say, oh, don't forget this. No, turn it around to remember. Because your
Yes.
brain doesn't know the difference between the positive
A
and the
lie.
negative, or
Positive. Yes.
the real or the fiction. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. That is so powerful. I was working on something. It was called the Goals Program. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Yeah.
with Jack Canfield. I was one of his presenters where I presented all over California. And in doing so, we always talked about that talk, those words, the syntax of words.
Self-talk. Yep.
You know, if you put the syntax, you put it in a certain order, it just automatically feeds the brain differently. And then the brain knows, okay, now I know what I want. And if you notice my last couple of posts, that's what I've been talking about.
Yes.
You know, because Simon has been really out there with the start with why. But I'm like, well, if you don't know what the what is, it's hard. I don't know how you can move the what forward, the why. But anyway, let's go with the O.
Oh, opportunities.
Yes.
Just reach out. Like I said, connect with publishers, connect with social media people. If you're writing a book, get your social media platforms out there, because publishers do look at your social media platforms. So I've started my own Facebook group for my book, and that's morphing. And I will say that my book is absolutely morphing as well, because I've taken the opportunity to really drill down to who I am, what my purpose is. And the book title is Think and Get Rich After Hours, based off Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, people automatically default to financial rich. And it's all about spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, environmental, and social, as well as financial rich. So it's actually on hold at the moment. Yeah, thank you, Danae, absolutely. It's all about courage. You know, I can hand on heart speak about courage. I don't have the financial success that I believe I need to be that author for the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been a real reality check. So for opportunities, take the opportunity to really drill down to who you are, what you want, where you want to go, reach out to publishers, get on fantastic StreamYard Live, reach out to people, you know, just make the most of each opportunity. Some are presented to you, some you absolutely make. And, you know, people say, oh, you do so much. It's like, yes, that's because I make those opportunities. I mean, I don't have a significant partner in my life, so my time is my own, within reason. So I have a very rich, fulfilling life. I still have downtime, but like I wanted to do meditation, and I'm thinking, I moved to Sydney, Australia's biggest city, and never lived here before. I want to do meditation. How can I do that? And then the opportunity presented. I read an article in a magazine about meditation, and I reached out, I connected and communicated with the founder. And now we're wonderful friends, and I'm a beach crew leader here for meditation. I took hold of that opportunity. So they come to you, or you make those opportunities. Just have the courage to do it. Just
all right. So
one step
you
at
guys,
a time.
this is two things right now that you should be putting in your toolbox right away, right? You had the C, which, you know, when you connect and you communicate, and you have to practice communication. Everything that you say is not always heard, and everything that people hear is not always what you said. So communication is a two-way street. Make sure that you're practicing it. Make sure that you're putting things together for that. The other thing is, like, you have social media, so communicate things over social media. Get involved, right? So look at those opportunities. What you just heard her say is that she's a real busy woman. She's doing a lot of stuff. And the reason why is because she's crafted an opportunity from different things. Like, this is a unique opportunity for us because we crafted a connection. We connected, we communicated, and now here's the opportunity. Hey, would you like to be on my show? I would love to be on your show. I think there's people in my group that will really benefit from you as a best-selling author. Awesome. So now here we are, and we're into the R, which is where I really wanted to get to.
You missed one. We're up to you.
I didn't get to you, right? Oh, that's right.
I know R becomes before you in the alphabet, but we're up to you in courage.
Getting to you, right? Then I'll be talking a different language. I need to talk the right language. So yes, COU. I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, it's funny because in the States, the word color in America is COLOR. In Australia,
Yeah.
it's COLOUR. So you're just doing the American courage. You'd actually touched on that word, Dwayne. You said unique. U stands for uniquely you. You have to be uniquely you. I am the Pix factor. I own it. I step into my brilliance now. I used to shy away. Two things. I used to step into the limelight to be the center of attention and the center of attraction. Now I do that to have fun, to bring the tribe with me so that they can be uniquely you. As Dr. Seuss says, no one is youer than you. And you touched on it earlier in your opening few sentences, Dwayne. Authenticity. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. When you are your authentic, true, genuine self, you don't have to lie. You don't have to remember things because it's you. You have your own story. You tell me your story. It's incredible. Own it. And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Own your own story. You have your own inner brilliance. Let that courageous lion out there. Just be uniquely you and be proud and work on that each and every day.
That's awesome. Uniquely you, the best you that you know, right? All kind of yous that you could do, the you can use, right? So here's really kind of, it's just amazing that we're talking about this uniquely you, because every one of us is like the snowflake, right? We're uniquely crafted. And for some that are studying under spiritual things, every single human being is different. But I teach in my class, No More Crumbs from the Table, which is my book. It's discover your tag, your talent, your ability, your gift.
Gifts.
And I teach that your gifts, that every single human being that comes to the earth comes with something in their package. And it's up to us to figure out the gifts that we have, and we unwrap it. And that's the unique quality of us. We have something that everybody else doesn't have. And I remember speaking to Les Brown, and Les Brown said, don't change, because I was getting ready to go through this other type of speaking thing. And he said, don't do that, because what you're going to do is you're going to start speaking their voice. And
Speak your own voice.
Lose your voice. And so for you, you're teaching people to use their unique voice. Be unique. Be all of who you are. Thank you, Gladys. Gladys says, I like that uniquely you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And like you said, you don't have to think about what you stand for, because if you're uniquely you are only thing that's showing up. I love this. I hope you guys are liking this.
And social media can be a really challenging thing for people, because everybody's highlight reel is posted on social media. I won't post when I'm really down, but I might post the next day and say, you know what, yesterday was a tough day. I had tears, I was a little bit down, or I lost my mojo. But because if you compare yourself with other highlight reels, they're filters and everything like that. You look at their backstory, and I bet you would think, gosh, I just am happy being me. So never compare. Comparison is the thief of joy. So be uniquely you. Be your best self. And, it happens 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 step at a time.
Go back to that. You said comparison
is the thief of joy.
Of joy.
Of joy.
Go a little deeper with that.
You never feel you're enough. You're not worthy. Someone else is better. But my mum, my beautiful mum, always used to tell me, I used to complain I had no shoes till I met a man who had no feet. There is always someone worse off than you. So just own who you are. Connect and communicate with yourself. Take opportunities and be uniquely you. Own it. Awesome.
So you must have another letter that comes after that one.
What might that be? But you've got to.
What might that be?
Read. Yes. And this is a classic for writers. in all honesty, Dwayne, when I finished year 12, I went, which is our senior year in our high school. Yes, I never have to read another book. Now I'm an avid reader. So
Yeah.
read about your industry, read about bios, read about others who are in your industry, read about publishers, self-published versus, going with a publisher. Just educate, educate yourself.
Yes, I heard, I say this all the time to my kids, and I have 4 children, 3 adults. Oh, they're all adults, 3 adult males and 1 adult female, and 2 college students, 1 college dropout who started his own corporation. So when he dropped out of college, he was like, "Dad, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore." And I was like, "But you just got a scholarship, right? You're supposed to finish because you gave the scholarship." And then he shared with me that his mind and heart and all the things that he wanted to do was just not there. And I said, "Well, Joe, that's it. If you're going to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Today is the day. So let's make that happen." So he came home and he fluffed around a little bit, but now he's moving toward, really building his brand company. He's a brand
Mm-hmm.
company. He builds
Yeah.
brands. One of the things that we talked about is I do leadership development training, and it's readers are leaders.
Leaders.
When you read,
Yes.
you get other authorities to talk to you. You can talk
Mm.
to the past voices of yesterday. You could talk to
Mm-hmm.
the thought leaders of today. Like right now, I just met Seth Godin. Seth Godin is amazing.
Tribes. Yeah. Yep.
But he
Purple
wrote a
cow.
book about stealing the dreams, how
Mm-hmm.
teachers in schools are teaching so wrong that the children are losing their ability to dream
Mm-hmm.
because they're being put in these thought boxes where you only can think this one way. You can't do anything that's unique, and you definitely only read these 5 books.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
let's continue.
Yeah. You said about leaders. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers.
Leaders are readers. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
See, we
Um,
teach that you lead from wherever you are,
mm,
and at any point in time, you could be the authority. Let's say that we were at school and we're waiting for the principal, who's the top guy, right? But the janitor comes out the closet and he has
Yeah.
the key. So when the janitor shows up, who's the most uniquely qualified person for that
yeah.
moment? It's not the principal.
Exactly.
janitor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of where that showed up. But anyway, I love it. No problem.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Just on that point with reading, Dwayne, I do listen to podcasts. In fact, my own podcast, The Couragepreneur, is coming out Friday, the 28th of August. But I love podcasts. I love listening. I love watching videos as well. But when you read, you have to be physically present with that book or with that piece of paper, whatever it is. You can't multitask when you're reading. And you also sub-vocalize. You hear it in your own voice. So there's power in actually reading as opposed to listening to an audio book, which, no discredit, it's the same as writing. You can type on the computer or your phone, whatever device, but when you manually hold a pen in your hand and you write on paper, there's a different connection between the hand and the brain as well. So I encourage people to read a book, a physical book. So yeah. Anyway, on to the next letter. It is A for attitude. I love this one. You have to have an amazing attitude, guys. And I'm not up all the time. No one can be. But like I said, I was down, a little bit, lost my mojo, had just that. Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah. You have to top up your tank daily. Like we feed our tummies daily, we need to feed the most expensive piece of real estate on the planet, this 6 inches between our ears. You have to feed that daily. And how do you feed your attitude? It is what you eat. It is who you associate with. It is which amazing interviews you're on. It is everything you do. If you find negativity in your life, flush it. If you have doubt, flush it. Doubt will take you out. So work on your mindset each and every day. I have a miracle morning that I do each day. I do meditation, I read, I do my affirmations, I go to the gym. Hell, Elrod, the miracle morning. So that tops up my attitude. So I just, work on it each and every day.
Let me come back with you. Uh, this is awesome too because recently I've actually started a morning meditation and a night meditation. It's
Mm.
uh it's specifically geared around my health, my financial health, my physical health,
Physical
my
health. Hmm.
mental health, and my spiritual health. And so, I looked at all of these areas that I really want to continue growth, but I want to
Hmm.
be more engaging. And you said awesome attitude, right? Awesome attitude is different than just basic attitude. Why did
Mm.
you put the words awesome attitude together in reference to their attitude?
I love alliteration, and as literary people, you would know that's the letter. For those that don't, it's AA. Um, because you can have a bad attitude. So it's being crystal clear, having an awesome or an amazing attitude. And I do use superlatives. Like, I am fantastic. I'm not just good or not too bad.
Cool. Stop there for a second. I got to put a pin there because you guys that are in my Write Your Story course, some of you are in here, some of you watching it, some of you are on YouTube watching it. But what you heard is this whole idea of how words are so powerful. Remember, I told you, we paint pictures with words. She said, attitude, that's leaving it there because you can have a bad attitude. You can have a negative attitude. You can have a crummy attitude. You can have a very dark attitude, but an awesome attitude, it paints a way different picture in your mind, which means now your body, you remember, body, soul, spirit, all of those things working together, conspired with the universe and God. You're in a very good place. If you're not doing that, then what happens is you're losing out. So in this example of what Pix has brought to you, think about that awesome attitude because you determine that in a moment, a millisecond. You can go from bad attitude to
Mm.
awesome attitude by how you deal with your mind. So let's
Actually,
continue.
can I give your listeners an example of that, Dwayne?
Yeah, let's do that. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
use me and I'll play it out. So, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Well, I was at a Tony Robbins seminar here in Sydney before I'd moved to Sydney. And he got 2,000 of us into a suffering state. He said, think of something that really pained you, when you felt really down, you were sad, you were, lonely, whatever it was. And he got 2,000 of us, and some people were in tears, sad tears. And I thought of my nephew's passing. He died by suicide. And so, we had that guilt, that what if and all that. And that was about 5 years ago now. And everybody was suffering in that suffering state. Then he literally put on music. He got people to dance around, hug, really be positive. And he changed our state simply by changing what we were feeling and the activity. I personally thought emotion creates motion. Like, you're feeling down, so you don't do anything. No, if you're feeling down, get into action. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that just goes. Then that changes your state, your mental state. So get into motion to change the emotion. So you can go from a suffering or a negative state to a positive state like that. Put on
Get
your
into
favorite
motion.
song. Motion
But
creates
it
emotion.
creates emotion. Awesome. That is so powerful, y'all. Everybody, if you're listening, wherever you're listening, and I know you're listening because your ears is up and it's coming to you. So listen. Oh man, you're hearing. I know you're hearing. I hope you're listening. I know you're hearing, but I hope you're listening because you may have been that person who's been in a fog. Some of you get in the, they say, oh, I'm in writer's block. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, hey, start talking because you don't have talking block.
Yeah, love that.
Right. So when you when you decide, and it's just a quick decision, you make a decision to think differently. You make a decision to do a different action. And I love the fact that he used music to set the environment because sometimes it's your environment. It's not just your thinking is what environment are you walking around in, that's contributing to that whole state. And you said state change just like that. Awesome. You're giving them so many platinum nuggets. Because you talked about what you're grateful for. You talked about what you've been through a little bit, and I like the fact that you said here, that's the past. Now, I totally, acknowledge the past. But now here's where I'm at now. Here's how I'm getting to go forward. Here's how I help people make it through. Do you do any kind of specific exercise when you're in meditation to
I
make
do
that happen? And if
actually.
you do, you talk about that?
And for your listeners, Dwayne, I'm fairly new to meditation. And by that I mean actually practicing the practice of meditation. For me to sit down for 5 minutes was like, oh my God, Pix must have a broken leg, because I've always thought I had to have my time filled. I felt guilty if I was literally, and I'm not being a big one to watch movies, because that's really what my sister's life contributed, or consisted of, watching movies all the time. So for me to sit down was like, oh wow. Whereas now I have to, because it's soulful, not selfish. It's self-full. So meditation, making meditation mainstream, presented to me. You know how I said I found an article in a local magazine? I reached out with the founder. His name's Jason Partington. And it's 20 minutes. We do it 6:30 a.m. and we were doing it 8 p.m. And that's because of COVID. We do normally do it on the beaches. We stopped basically because of COVID, but we are back on the beaches now, 6:30 a.m., no matter where you are. Like, we have a few different time zones here. So on the East Coast is different to the West. There's 3 hours time difference. But we do it 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I also do it morning. We're going online now, 6:30 a.m. So what it is, we do 3 deep breaths, we set an intention, then we do a full body scan from head to toe, and then we hold space or just quiet time, sit there in silence, or you can have music on if you want, calming music, for about 17, 18 minutes. So the whole practice is done by about 20, 25 minutes. So yeah, that's one practice. I know there's different meditation practices. I've done some other as well.
Let's do 2 minutes.
2 minutes
Take
meditation.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
All right, here's what I want you to do, you guys that are listening out there. And I really would like you to participate. You will be enlightened. You will be engaged. But I believe what's going to happen is you're going to feel this presence of who you are and what you are. Not just the outside surface, but that amazing entity that you are on the inside. So let's do a 2-minute meditation. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So
All right.
obviously
So I'm
I'll calm my voice down. I just want you to sit. If you're sitting there, just be really mindful of yourself. Get comfortable. Your hands might be resting on your lap beside you. If they've got a device or pen, just put that down. Get comfortable. And we'll hold space for 2 minutes. So I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. I like to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. So we'll just take 3 deep breaths now. First breath in through the nose. Hold. And out through the mouth. Really let go. Second breath in through the nose. Hold. And out through the mouth. You can start to feel yourself calming down. Third breath in through the nose. Hold. And out through the mouth. And now I do invite you, if you haven't closed your eyes, just close them gently. We won't have time for a full body scan, but just aim to relax from the crown of your head, through your face, neck, shoulders, upper body, belly, legs, lower legs, feet. Just relax. This is your time, for you, by you, with us. Don't worry about the time. I'll bring you back. Okay, slowly come back to your body. I know you'll be feeling much calmer, much more grounded than before. So we'll quickly do a reverse body scan. Awareness starting with your feet, moving up your legs, your sit bones, your belly or tummy, your upper body, your shoulders and arms, your head. And now come back to the present. Be aware of the room. And I thank you.
Wow.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity to share.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
We're stepping into the G and the E, and we haven't even done that. I do encourage your audience who feels calmer now, more grounded.
Yeah, if you can put something in the comment section,
comment.
It would be cool. Comment. Of course, for those that are on Facebook, you have to put it in the Facebook comments.
Yeah. And that was unrehearsed. I didn't know I was going to do that, guys.
Again,
so make the most of the opportunities.
Off the cuff.
So thank you, Dwayne.
Definitely, yeah. So Danae said it was a great exercise.
Oh. And you know, you literally can meditate anywhere. The power of the breath, guys, that's what I'm so learning about. Literally, if you're sitting in a car in a traffic jam, which is a little unusual these days because of the situation, you're sitting at the traffic lights, just breathe. And I mean really intentional deep breaths. 3 deep breaths, you will be much calmer. I absolutely feel that. Thank you so much, Danae. Really appreciate that. So I'm mindful of people's time, so we'll keep moving. Thank you, Gladys. G, goals and gratitude. You've got to have gritty goals, guys. Aim for things. And I heard something the other day about going for goals. Almost feels like you haven't got enough. You're not enough now. You are. It's simply the journey rather than the destination. But if you're on that playing field and you've got no goalposts, you don't know where you're going. You don't know your why, as Simon Sinek said. It's what helps you, and think about what harms you. So focus on your why. Write down your goals, your personal, your professional, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, those goals. They do say get crystal clear on your goals. That's something I personally am challenged with, because I want a house in the Northern Hemisphere. I want a house in the Southern Hemisphere so that I don't have to do winter, because I'm not a winter babe. It's my 4th favourite season of the year. See, terminology. I could say I hate winter, but it's my fourth
Right.
favorite season of the year. There's only four.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but I haven't crystallized the actual house. Is it in France? Is it in Spain? Is it in Florida? I don't know at the moment, but I do know I want a house in the northern and summer. But establish those gritty goals, to be the best partner, whatever it is. Find out your goals and write them down. Thank you, Gladys. And gratitude. Have that attitude of gratitude. And I'm so grateful to be able to share a mini practice of meditation with you today. I did not know I was going to do that. So your goals, gritty goals and gratitude, attitude of gratitude.
Well, there's only one letter left.
E for energy. Everybody comments on my energy. You mentioned I'm an Arbonne consultant. I am. I love the company. I love the brand. I love the products. In fact, I've just had my fizz, my healthy coffee replacement. I have it hot. So it's also having that entrepreneur mindset. You have to have that entrepreneur mindset to write a book. It's not easy. They say everybody's got a book in them. Not everybody will get that book out. And you said if you get writer's block, just start talking because you don't get talker's block. Start by writing, just doing a brain dump on a piece of paper or Post-it notes, and then you'll start forming, okay, well, that's about mindset or that's about business. You will find that you'll have themes throughout your brain dump. So have that entrepreneurial mindset and just make a start. You need to have that energy though. As I said, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy business. We spoke about millionaires and billionaires. Sometimes they're not fulfilled because they don't have that passion. A lot of people are not healthy. We've got an obesity epidemic here in Australia. It's not a claim to fame that we want. So I aim to work on my body. Yes, I'll have wine. Yes, I'll have cheese and dairy but I don't have that certainly each and every day. I celebrated my birthday last night and I did have a cocktail, but that was celebrating being present in the moment. But now I live my life 80-20 by the Pareto principle. In fact, it's probably 90-10. 90 healthy and 10 less than healthy choices. Mm-hmm. But I've really changed my mindset towards my body is my temple. We are the best piece of machinery on the planet. You've been with this incredible hardware since you were born. We need to be mindful of this software. So have that entrepreneurial, energetic being.
Yeah, again, this is one of those areas that people struggle with because it's mindset, it's how they think, right? The book was called Think and Grow Rich. You were able to take that whole concept and put it in a place where it's like, okay, there's a way that you can do it that's differently. And so having an entrepreneurial mindset requires people to think about, like, what is an entrepreneur? Why? What does the word even mean, right? And then you talked about energy, because energy is constant. One thing about energy, it just moves. It doesn't stop. It's forever, right? And what we understand is that from what we've learned is that our energy doesn't go out. It just transforms. It just transcends, right? It transcends, it transforms. It goes from one form to a new form, etc. Well, the thing I want to kind of come back to with what you just said is the fact that, courage, when you put it all together, this is the best soup you can get, right? For you to really move your life forward. So I heard someone, I was listening to Vishan for
Lucky Arnie.
Yeah.
I love those guys. Yeah.
And they were talking about having a life mission. And it seems that what you have described or prescribed for us, with the C, the O, the U, the R, the A, the G, the E, is an actual prescription for what we can put into our life mission. Because it covers so many parts of our lives. And so, I hope that this time together, that what people are doing is they're thinking about, how can I develop, cultivate, improve, or just make my entrepreneurial mindset part of what I do, because we've been taught, especially in American culture, we've been taught industrial mindset. Everything fits
And
in a
also
box.
employee mindset too,
Yeah,
Dwayne.
employee. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
trading time for dollars. As writers, as
All the time.
entrepreneurs, we are not paid an hourly rate.
Right. I was listening to J.K. Rowling, and she was talking about how, you know, she really knew she wanted to be a writer. She didn't know how it was going to come to pass, right? Jack Canfield says the how will show up.
When you know the why.
You commit to the what and you commit to the why, the how shows up. And when we commit to it, it's like, okay, now the energy to move towards it, it starts moving towards us.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
you
more
actually said a great thing.
Go ahead.
Prescription for your mission.
Yes.
Have a prescription for your mission. Find, this is where you can be uniquely you. I'm talking to your audience. Mine is courage. I've made it simple. I know the courage acronym. So find your prescription for your own mission. And what is my mission? My mission is to positively influence people, one person at a time, starting with myself. And I have the acronym. I love it. Thank you, Gladys. My acronym for my name, Pix, is passionate, influential, and exciting. Without the E, I'm a bit of a maverick. I'm unique. So passionate, influential, exciting. What is your acronym for you? What makes you uniquely you? What's your mission? What's your prescription for your mission?
That is so powerful. I got to put this out here. So you said passionate,
influential, and exciting with an X.
And
forget
X.
the E. Yeah, X. And again, I've done a pivot. I've taken opportunity because it was in impact, but then impact is like one-off, and that was a bit of play on words with the car accident. But impact is one-off. I don't want to be one-off. I want to be influential.
Constant,
and
right?
I heard something the other day about being an influencer versus being influential. I want to be influential in having conversations in homes about child sexual assault, about abuse, about divorce, about abortion, about Black Lives Matters. I want to be influential in having those conversations in the homes. I don't need to be an influencer. I need to be influential. There's a huge difference.
You said a million things right there in that whole idea of influential. And again, it goes back to how you use words. And so tell us again the name of your book.
At the moment, it's Think and Get Rich After Hours.
Think and Get Rich After Hours.
Yeah.
Why
I couldn't actually,
hours?
Well, like two things. I couldn't use Think and Grow Rich. I do have approval from the Napoleon Hill Foundation because I'm using that kind of branding, and I wanted to leverage off his success. So I took that opportunity. After Hours, entrepreneurial, because I believe you make a life 9 to 5. You make a living 9 to 5. You make a life after 5, before Jim 9 Rohn. And after 5.
Jim Rohn talks about, he says you practice you work for your job and you get your seed, but then you take the time that's after work to really work on your dream, right? And so you're crafting out your dream, you're moving it forward. But then Providence worked on you because COVID came and said, hey, get out of here, right? Now I've been
get your message out there, girlfriend.
I've had the privilege of being laid off 4 times in my life. 4. And each time was a financial disaster. It was such an impact from what I was trying to do, and then all of a sudden, boom, no money, no income. One time, the first time it happened to me, I was working for Douglas Aircraft Company, building airplanes, right? Thinking that's a beautiful place. No one would think it goes out of business, but it did. And 5,000 of us was out of unemployed. 5,000 people. So 5,000 of us were running around with resumes, and we were walking resumes, and I was walking resumes for 2 years. 2 years. I had to take little menial jobs as far as I was concerned to survive in reference to where I was. And so
that's the other thing. Don't be too proud to take on anything that presents those opportunities. We've
I
got
didn't know.
doctors, lawyers, pilots that are out of jobs that are working in supermarkets. Do
Yes.
not be too proud.
I had to figure out, listen, I will do what I need to do to
Exactly.
put food on the table. But
That's
at the
right.
same time, in the back of my mind, I was doing what you said. I was working on my entrepreneurial mindset.
Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
was, I actually was in a relationship where it was like, you always trying to make something happen. Why don't you just stay with your job and just go with that? And I was like, I can't. I don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to ask you this because um, in the show notes is where I'll put your information. But one of the things that you talk about or what was asked of you, I want to ask the same question that was on the website. And it's this 3 words that sum you up. What are the 3 words that you chose when you were in that interview that you, or even now, because it could have changed between now and then? What are 3 words that when people meet you, outside of courage, we know you're the
Yeah.
courage.
Yeah.
What are 3 words? Is it the influential? Is it the exciting? Is it the
I'd have to say passion, because I am passionate about a lot of things, everything I do. Like,
okay?
I go to the gym, I enjoy it. Yeah, so passion, definitely. Authentic,
Yes. Okay. Authentic.
yeah. And 2 words, but community minded. I'm about other people.
You're others minded, right? Community minded.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
huge thing for a lot of people. Well, we had 3 minutes left. Tell us your website. Tell us, I mean, I'm going to post that information, but tell us where to
yeah,
find you. You're on
yeah.
LinkedIn, you're on Facebook. Tell us
Facebook,
all that.
yeah, yeah. LinkedIn under the Pix Jonasson, because I have a couple, but yeah, so LinkedIn, just type in Pix Jonasson. But if you actually do the whole URL, it's the Pix Jonasson. So that way on Facebook, again, Pix Jonassson, and that is PixJonassson. I will say I'm nearly maxed out with Facebook, but obviously I value your listeners and audience, Dwayne. So there's some that I may need to remove, that
Well,
just
if you send the
they're
link
not
to me
my
and I can send
audience.
it to them
Yeah,
or whatever,
sure.
that'll
Yep,
work.
yep,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
great.
Thank
Shannon.
you thank you so much for this. Oh, Shannon, hello.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
New
so
York.
much for this incredible opportunity. It's 10 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning. So you're in my yesterday. I'm in your tomorrow. Don't you
That's
love
how we're in 2
our
places at one
technology?
time, right? Isn't that the power of it
Yeah,
all? It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Well, I want
yeah,
to say thank you very much, you guys. I will be posting information about the book as well. Um, you know, when you have this wealth of information from someone, my hope is that you take the information and you don't just let it become notes in your notebook,
yeah.
but you
Mm,
actually start figuring out a way to actualize that
mm,
information. She talked about courage, right? She gave you some really cool things to pay attention to. Connect and communicate. Number 1 thing, right? For the C, opportunities. Make your own opportunities. She mentioned it just a little while ago, how she went and she connected with someone to do a certain thing. Uniquely you, all right? You are unique. You are one of a kind. You have been stamped with a tag, a talent, ability, gifts. Make sure you use them, right? Put them to work in the earth. Be the reader, right? Read books. Use audiobooks. I heard people say, you can. One of the cool things about audiobooks is you can multitask with them, so you can listen to her book. Are you going to do the audio on your own?
I will, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
When it
awesome.
comes
So
out.
you can listen to her talk while you're jogging or getting your exercise in or what have you. So pay attention to that. Again, awesome attitude, right? Think about words and how they connect to your brain and your body and your spirit. Make sure that you're looking at your wholeness when you use words. And then that gritty goals, right? She talked about those growth, being practicing gratitude. There's a number of different ways that you can practice gratitude while you're exercising. We went through a 2-minute meditation. She does meditation on the beach. Very powerful. And then, of course, entrepreneurial mindset and energy. Put your energy where it needs to be. Think about your life, look at all the areas of your life. And when you do that, you'll be able to say, wait a minute, I'm spending too much time. Maybe I should take a half hour away
Mhm.
or an hour away from television or something and put it into these principles. Last not parting words, because we're friends now. Words of encouragement, words of engagement, words that move people forward. What do you have for them before you go?
I always like to do a call to action, Dwayne, because you said, like, I have the thought that knowledge is powerful, applied knowledge is even more powerful. Okay, so you can listen to this and go, wow, that was great. I really resonated, and do nothing. So, my call to action for each and every one of you today or watching the recording is to write down one thing that you're going to do or not do to move you towards your goals. Do that today. Not for me, for you. Do that for yourself. Write down one thing you're going to do or not to do. Is it stop social media, stop scrolling? Is it stop that movie watching or Netflix binging? Write down one thing. So that's my message, my take home for you. Just one thing. It starts with one thing, Gary Keller.
All
The
right, there
Slight
it is.
Edge, Jeff Olson.
Yes. All right. Well, you guys, we are at the 8 o'clock hour, and she's into tomorrow, so she's got stuff to do Sunday for her Sunday morning. Thank you for setting aside time. I know
My pleasure, and thank you,
it
Dwayne.
was a
Yeah.
little rocky getting it all battened out. I kept
All
thinking,
good.
oh no, I don't want to miss the time. I don't want to miss the time. But this has been powerful. It's been reflective. It's definitely going to be posted. It'll be on Facebook as well as on LinkedIn. I thought I was able to go live with LinkedIn, and then I got a message back right when we started
Yeah.
that said I don't have enough followers yet. So
Mm-hmm.
they I guess it's a reward if you have a lot of people listening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they shut me on that. So I went over to YouTube. So I'm going to send you the YouTube link so you can post it with
Beautiful.
all of your
Thanks so
social
much, Dwayne.
media. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you
Lovely.
so much. I'm going to end the broadcast. We'll talk in the green room. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you.
Thank
Don't
you,
forget to
everyone.
like.
Appreciate you taking time out of your day. Yep.
Yes. Like us, comment, share, post. What else did I need to say? Just tell people about us. All right. We'll see you on the next page. Post, comment, like, share, and YouTube video. We'll see you. Take care. All right.